In the deserts of Rajasthan, locals warn that Kuldhara is a place where the air itself is cursed. According to the folklore, those who dare to stay overnight in these ruins never return quite the same. The sheer scale of the desolation is visible from above. Hundreds of houses stand as empty shells, marking the site where an entire community vanished in a single night. Professor Saxena and his student Nandini arrived at these ruins with a different objective. They planned to use modern research tools to replace local ghost stories with academic data. Their reliance on logic provided a false sense of security. By focusing strictly on the material history, they failed to account for the psychological traps embedded in the village's legend. The first night proved that logic had limits. As Nandini tried to sleep, the silence was broken by the rhythmic tolling of temple bells, followed by a heavy shadow that lingered silently against the side of her tent. She found Professor Saxena in a trance-like state, wandering deep into the ruins. He was speaking in a voice that didn't belong to him, claiming he was being called to a specific location in the dead of night. The walk ended at a crumbling temple. Saxena now identified himself as a man named Vijay, and he prepared a ritual to sacrifice Nandini to a woman whose eyes were weeping blood. Suddenly, a horseman charged out of the fog. With one precise swing of a sword, the professor was decapitated. Nandini collapsed as the horseman and the weeping woman vanished back into the darkness. This sequence raises a difficult question for any researcher. Why did the ruins force these specific people to act out this exact brutal narrative? 6 months later, Nandini regained consciousness in a hospital. Sitting beside her, completely unharmed and very much alive, was Professor Saxena. Saxena explained they encountered a chalawa, a supernatural illusion. The haunting doesn't target the body. It hijacks the victim's senses, puppeteered by a historical entity. It isolates the individual, warping their perception, using familiar faces to trap them inside a vivid, inescapable hallucination. These spirits act as trapped echoes. They are not mindless monsters, but fragments of historical trauma, forcing living visitors to play out their final moments. To understand these echoes, we must look back hundreds of years. Kuldhara was once a vibrant community, a center of Rajasthani culture and trade. Prosperity ended with the rise of Salim Singh, a local ruler who maintained control through heavy taxes and a campaign of constant terror. Salim Singh eventually focused his power on the village chief's daughter, Deepmala. He demanded her hand in marriage, threatening the entire village if they refused. This abuse of power transformed a personal obsession into an existential threat for the entire population of Kuldhara. Singh delivered an ultimatum: hand over Deepmala by morning, or his military would flatten the village and execute its leaders. The villagers chose their honor over their homes. In a single night, thousands of people abandoned their property and fled into the unforgiving desert dunes. The sick and the elderly could not survive the trek. To avoid capture and torture by Singh's men, they chose to consume poison, leaving their bodies behind in the empty houses. As they left, the villagers placed a curse on the soil, ensuring no one could ever settle or find peace on their stolen land. This curse was a final act of resistance, the desperate weaponization of grief by a marginalized people who lost everything but their defiance. The historical figures matched the roles Nandini saw in her vision. Deepmala was the weeping woman, her lover Vijay was the man Nandini saw in her professor, and Salim Singh was the horseman who ended the loop. These haunted figures remain permanently trapped in a perpetual loop, reenacting the specific night their vibrant community was destroyed. These ruins stand as a solemn monument to rebellion against political tyranny. Whether one believes in ghosts or simply the weight of history, Kuldhara proves that some historical traumas are too deep to ever truly be buried.